It's week 3 of the National Football League. And we'll see Tony Pollard. He's the NFL's ultimate red zone back and your leader in rushing touchdowns. The action is only moments away, and it comes your way next on Madden Football.
Thank you to Trey Mosley for the introduction. We are indeed excited to welcome you to another edition of the NFL on EA Sports. So good to have you with us. Mike Tirico, Greg Olsen up here in the booth. And Greg, this is one of those games that it's a little old school. Maybe if it was in black and white, it would be fitting, right? We got a couple of teams who love to hand it off and see their running backs do it on the ground.
It's just so cool, and you mentioned it, Mike. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, this would have been the norm on any given weekend, but we're seeing the game trend to more of a passing-style offense. If you want to score points, it mostly comes through the air. So for these two kind of throwback offenses that rely so heavily on their running backs, for anybody that loves old-school power football, I think we're in for a treat.
This returnable from the 4. They'll get this up past the 20, and that's where they'll set up shop. Here comes the pack, and here comes Jordan Love. 5th season quarterback, but Greg just his 2nd as a starter, waited his turn, and had a really good first year as a starter.
It's fair to say this season hasn't gotten off to the type of start they likely envisioned for themselves, but it's still early. A win here, it could go a long way towards changing the trajectory of this entire season. But what's going to make this even more difficult today, not only the worthy opponent that they face, but having to go on the road and do it here in a hostile environment. If he is able to lead his team to a win today, I think that gives them the spark to turn this season around.
So it'll be 1st and 10. They'll scrimmage at the 33. Out of the shotgun, it's Love. In trouble, and he's going to be taken down.
And now we're seeing the game kind of go back and forth. Each team trading blows, trying to establish control over the other. Nice chunk play on the previous play. The defense responds back with a sack, and we'll see which team can establish a little bit more of this control as the game unfolds.
And you'll take this past the 30, a gain of 6, mark it at the 31. Now, following the run, one of the offensive linemen leading the way is a bit shaken up. Not something you want to see in the opening minute of the game. From the gun, it's Love. Oh, got him again the 2nd time with a sack on this opening drive. On 4th down, the Packers turn it over to Daniel Whelan to punt. That is fielded at the 20. And he's going to lose yardage on this return. Tried to retreat, but is covered. This crowd ready in anticipation. Their offense taking the field for the first time. They're led by their quarterback, the 2nd-round pick out of Kentucky, Will Levis.
Well, I don't think that stat line last week had him up for any sort of awards. If I had to guess, he'd much rather have a modest game and a win as opposed to throwing for a bunch of touchdowns in a loss. The biggest thing that he did, Mike, he took care of the ball. So as long as he continues to do that, they're going to have a chance to keep on winning.
And this play going nowhere. He is taken down behind the line of scrimmage on their first play of the game. They'll run once more, and it's Pollard again. He's 35. Look at him go! Inside the 10. And he will dive into the end zone. 98 yards. It's a touchdown. Wow, one of those breathtaking plays, taking it the distance, going coast to coast. A long run pays off with a touchdown.
And Mike, what looks like a simple handoff, just trying to pick up some yards and get themselves out of the shadow of their own goalpost, He got through the initial wave, and he is gone. He takes it the length of the field for 6.
So, 7-0 to score, and set now for the dynamic kickoff. This taken at the 5. And it'll be brought down past the 25. Decent field position to start this drive. Set to go now on 1st and 10. The man in motion is Watson. Off the play fake. Here's Love. The pressure gets there, and down he goes back inside the 20-yard line.
If there's any silver lining for this drive, Mike, it's the fact that at least this sack occurred on an early down. So I guess technically they have a chance to claw themselves out of this hole, but that's the 3rd sack of the game. This defense doesn't show any signs of slowing down.
Throwing on 2nd down, Love. The catch is made. Oh, he doesn't put it away, and the ball's out. And fortunately, this is going to get out of bounds, so possession does not change hands. They need 8 as they come up for 3rd down. To throw is Love. The pressure gets there, and he goes down. A sack that should be the final play of this 1st quarter. We are through 1. 7-0 is our score. And EA Sports NFL Sunday returns after this. Here's Daniel Whelan now, as he'll hit this from just outside of his own goal line. This one fielded out beyond the 25. And he is going backwards. Good coverage there to make sure he did not get free. The home team's offense and running back Tony Pollard going to take over once again. And he's been a tough man to stop in this 1st half, putting up some big numbers already. And remember, we haven't even reached halftime yet. They'll give it to Pollard to start this drive. And he'll work forward for about 3. It's 2nd down. Again, it's Pollard. Room up the sideline to the 20. Tony Pollard. Inside the 10. And he will dive into the end zone. 95 yards. It is a touchdown. Taking care of business on the ground. They run it into the end zone to put 6 on the board.
Mike, some of the hardest elements to coach for a running back is vision and patience. And in this case, you saw both of them on display, and he's able to take the long run all the way to the house for 6.
Folks, extra point is good. And his guys move out on top, 14-0. After the touchdown, out is Folk to kick this one away. This one taken at the 7. He'll get this past the 20 before he's brought down shy of the 25-yard line. The Packers offense ready to get back to work. They're staring at a 2-touchdown deficit, 14-0. The score as the offense tries to regroup and get going with 1st and... Oh, a loose football. It looked like a Packer was able to corral it, and indeed, possession stays with Green Bay. Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long. Here's Love. Now, look out. That ball is free in the end zone. The dangers of throwing when you are backed up. Quarterback trying to keep it alive and make a play. Instead, they bring him down, and it'll cost them 2 points.
I understand what the quarterback's trying to do here, Mike. He's trying to keep the play alive and buy some time for his receivers to work to get open. But backed up this close to his end zone, he's got to get rid of that ball because, as we just saw, the defense took him down for 2 points.
Here comes Jackson on the return. Oh, no. That is not going to work out at all. That will be a safety. File that under head scratcher. Really hard to understand what was going on there. But we do know what's going on the board. 2 points for the defense.
At some point, Mike, you just have to figure out, when is the party over? I mean, just go down, live to play another snap. But in this case, he just kept going back and back and back. And as you said, the defense now gets to come off the field, scoring 2 points.
They'll come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Here's Love to throw. Now he'll run it. And he slides and covers up at the end, avoids the hit, and picked up decent yardage along the way. A 2nd down throw for Love. Completes this one. That's Christian Watson. They'll break the huddle. Coming up now for 1st and 10. He's hit after the catch, and the ball comes free. The defense has got it. Oh, big hole left side. And he is going to bring this one back. It is a fumble recovery for a defensive touchdown. And a deep hole gets even deeper. This has been one-sided right from the start, and this first half nightmare continues.
In a league, Mike, where we see so many close games and there's such parity, every now and then it just seems one team is just clearly dominant, clearly in control of a game, and so far in this first half, that's what's unfolding in front of us. We'll see if they can get back into it in the second half, but up until this point, this team is in complete control.
Visitors 2.
Seven seconds, all that remains, till halftime. And the kick is away. Now return coming from the 7. And he'll be brought down right around the 25-yard line. And they'll elect not to run another play. Instead, just take a knee and take this on into the locker room. So we've hit halftime in a very fast-moving first half. As we're off to Orlando, going to check in with Jonathan Coachman, who's got our EA Sports halftime report.
All right, Michael, we'll get back to you and Greg in just a little bit. For now, plenty of early action in the 1 o'clock Eastern window to get you caught up on. So let's get to it. We'll get started up at Lucas Oil Stadium in the capital city of Indianapolis. And they are seconds away from halftime, all tied in that one. We'll stay in the NFC North as we head over to Minneapolis to check on the Vikings at home in U.S. Bank Stadium. And they've got the lead over the visiting Houston Texans. Justin Jefferson, a touchdown reception. Finally, we head to the shores of Lake Erie, see what's going on with the Cleveland Browns. And in that one, it's the visiting Giants who have the lead. The Giants locked in a tight one, but this is a game you feel they've got to have. It was a strong first half for running back Tony Pollard. He's over 100 yards rushing for the game already and found the end zone twice as well. This was an extremely one-sided first half. One team showed up ready to go. The other's been in a daze thus far, but there's still plenty of time left for this one to tighten up significantly. Both these teams running through their final adjustments. It's time for the second half. And for the call, let's get it back out to Mike Tirico and Greg Olson.
Coach, thank you. Back here on EA Sports as we count down to the kickoff of the second half. Very good kickoff. Returnable from the 4. And a big mistake there. He's out of bounds, back inside his own 5-yard line. The home team's offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And as we look at the highlights, you see it's been tough to stop him here today. Couple of touchdowns in this ball game. He has, without a doubt, been the driving force in this offense so far. A fresh set of downs to work with. It is first down and 10. The drive starts. It's a carry by Pollard. Tony Pollard. Accelerating toward midfield. Still on the move. Inside the 10. And they're not going to run him down. He goes all the way. 99 yards for the touchdown. 3 touchdowns for him now in this one. And he's up to 10 on the year. Folk now for the extra point. He's got it. And his guys will extend this third quarter lead. Touchdown. Out is Folk to kick this one away. This taken in at the 8-yard line. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line. The Packers offense ready to take over possession of the football. And look, they've been out of sorts throughout, Greg. They haven't had any answer for this pass rush all game.
Yeah, and it's really showing up in the sacks and also just in their ability to prevent any yards, any completions. This has just been a dominant pass defense performance here, and everything starts with the rush. The quarterback's uncomfortable. The clock gets sped up. He's got guys in his face. It's a lot easier to play defensive back, and in some of these coverage units, when you know that ball's got to come out fast, and right now, they're teeing off and taking advantage of it. Well, this is a great example of the old saying, Mike, you never go broke taking a profit. Give credit to this quarterback. I know it's not the big explosive play he was looking for, but getting the ball into the hands of his running back, allow him to pick up some extra yardage after the catch.
And he'll take this one forward for about 3, and that's a first down. That is Musgrave, the man in motion. Josh Jacobs inside the 30. And they are not going to catch up. He's in. Josh Jacobs. Touchdown, Packers. That's the 5th touchdown for him on the year. Brandon McManus now to add the extra point. The kick is good. And the Packers are able to cut into the deficit. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. He'll start at the 4. And he'll be out of bounds on the return. And the drive will begin there. The home team's offense and their running back getting set for this next possession. And as you take a look at the numbers, you have to imagine he was the topic of conversation in that locker room at halftime. They got to find a way to slow him down. Nothing they've done has worked so far. Up the middle, here comes Pollard. Wow! Loose past the 35. Look at him go! Inside the 10. And they won't catch him. He'll go all the way. 99 yards. It's a touchdown. Make it 4 touchdowns for him on the afternoon. Well, that's a way to start a drive. He takes it all the way to the house. I don't know what they were talking about on the last series, but they've come out on this series, Greg, with the right answer for the touchdown.
And, Mike, the reason a lot of teams start off drives with the run play is to allow themselves to operate ahead of the chains. Well, not this guy. He found the alley, he took it, and he's off to the races for 6.
After the touchdown, out is Folk to kick this one away. He fields it at the 8. And he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. Josh Jacobs and the Packers offense heading back onto the field. Our next drive getting ready to start, and we'll let you know what's coming up here later tonight. It is a good one. The Chiefs and Falcons in Atlanta. Second primetime appearance for the Falcons in the last 2 weeks. Then on Monday, a doubleheader comes your way. It's the Jags and the Bills in Orchard Park. Note the start time, 7:30 Eastern, followed by the Commanders and Bengals. That kicks off at the usual 8:15 starting time. Once again, it's Jacobs. And it'll be brought down as we tick towards the end of this third quarter. So, 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL on EA Sports. From the gun on 3rd down, it's Love. The blitz gets there, and he lost the football. It is picked up by the defense. How about the defense getting to the quarterback, getting access to the ball, knocking it free, and coming up with the recovery.
Quarterback just be a little more secure with the ball, Mike. You can see he's just a little loose, especially when you're operating from the pocket. But give credit to the defender. Nice job attacking the ball, knocking it loose and recovering it, and that is a big takeaway here by this defense.
The home team's offense and their running back set to go once more. And before this drive starts, let's take a look at the current race to see who's going to take home the award of NFL Most Valuable Player. Nick Folk now on with the field goal unit. This from 34 yards. Folk's kick is good. And his guys will add to their lead here in the 4th quarter.
I think at this point in the game, Mike, when you have things under control, not only were they able to hold on to the ball for a while, they still were able to manage to add 3 points.
The return starts from the 5. And he is stopped at the 25. The drive will begin there. Jordan Love and the rest of the Packer offense ready for their next possession. And as we take you back through the highlights, there aren't many of them from a quarterbacking perspective. He's been unable to sustain a lot in any of these drives and does not have a touchdown pass to this point. From the 25, they'll go to work. 1st and 10. Here's Love. He finds Jaden Reed for the grab. And they'll get about half of what they needed. It's a pickup of 5 and sets up 2nd and 5. Now Love. And he's going to go down yet again. He has been under fire all game long.
When you can bring cornerbacks on pressure, man, that changes everything for the defensive play caller. Offenses spend all week worrying about linebackers, defensive linemen. How are they going to protect the quarterback? But when you can time up a secondary pressure like this, man, oftentimes there's no answer for it.
So, backed up after the sack, and now it's 3rd and long. Back to throw is Love. Now a loose football. The defense has it. And there it is. The defense comes up with the big play, forcing the fumble as they get their offense right back on the field. Coming up, Greg, with a big turnover.
Taking the ball away, Mike, has really become an art form in the NFL. Some teams are good at it, some teams not so much. But in this case, great job by the defense taking that one away.
So now this team's offense ready to take over once more. And the rich get richer. They've got the big lead, and they start with it 1st and goal. He is 2 for 2. That kick is good. And his guys add on to their lead.
It's always a little bit of a letdown, Mike. You find yourself deep in the red zone, and you have to settle for a short field goal like that. In this case, he's able to put it through, and they get 3.
So Nick Folk back after the made field goal. He'll boot this one away. A return now from the 4. He'll get across the 20, mark him down at the 23-yard line. Out comes the Green Bay offense now as they get set to take over again. Things not looking good. But see if they can get the turnaround going here. They'll start this drive with 1st down. Love. Here's a screen taken in by Jacobs. And that keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a 1st down completion of 7 yards.
You see so many teams wait till 3rd down to execute their screen game, but I like in this case the play caller changes things up. He uses the screen game on 1st down, which will have an effect on this pass rush going forward. How aggressive do they want to...
This offensive line just has no answers right now. It's another sack.
Sometimes in the NFL, you have to be careful what you ask for. This offensive line, they were very clear to us this week. They wanted to take on this group. They loved the ability to be challenged. Well, they might have poked the bear a little bit too much because they've now surrendered a whopping 10 sacks in a single game. And I don't think there's been any signs of this pass rush slowing down.
Throwing now on 3rd and long. That's down the field and intercepted. Picked off by Chidobe Awuzie. And he won't be able to take it all the way in, but that is a great return, and they are set up 1st and goal.
It's not often, Mike, that everything breaks right for this type of return off of an interception, but boy, is it beautiful when it does. I mean, look at the defenders just flip around and become blockers, trying to spring their guy to the house. Great athleticism, some great moves on his part. I mean, he's going to have some of his offensive teammates looking over their shoulder for their position.
This team's offense headed back to take over once more. And they start in the best possible situation. It is 1st and goal. 3 for 3 in the game, as this one is also good. And his guys will extend their lead.
So anytime an offense comes off the field after settling for 3, you always have to take the good with the bad. In order to get down there in field goal range, you had to do something positive to move the ball. But at the same time, how are we going to be able to finish these drives and convert for 6 the next time we get down there?
He's across the 20, taken down just shy of the 25. The Packers offense ready to see what they can do. They'll see if they can put something together here, beginning with 1st and 10. On play action, Love. And he's going to go down yet again. He has been under fire all game long. Now this defense will use the first of their timeouts as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock. A good play action with Love. This one up top for Dobbs. That's over the middle and intercepted. Picked off by L'Jarius Sneed. And this defense will take over following the turnover.
And at this point in the game, Mike, we all know one play can be the difference between winning and losing. And now after that poor throw, we'll see, can they capitalize on this extra possession that they just stole?
So they come to the line for 1st down and 10. Pollard. And he's fighting to try to get back to the line of scrimmage, but will not do it. This is going to be a loss of a yard. Lost 1 on the last play, so now it's 2nd and 11. They run it straight ahead with Pollard. And he'll be brought down there, and that'll put a wrap on this one. Time has expired in this 4th quarter. So the fans gonna head home happy. It's a win for the hometown squad. They continue their winning ways in the month of September. They're off to a 3-0 start. So that'll do it for us. For Greg Olson and our terrific team behind the scenes, I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. Follow us on X at EA Madden NFL. With that, we say so long, everyone.